Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special episode of the Remarkable People podcast with the 2026 candidate for governor, Mike Lindell. Mike, how are you today?
Well, I'm a little stressed, but I'm feeling good.
I know you are. I know you are. I've been hearing amazing things about the campaign and what's going on in Minnesota, and the straw polls and the energy I'm seeing are all in favor of Mike Lindell. Even President Trump said you deserve to be governor. With what you're seeing, what's the number one thing that Minnesotans are telling you while you're on the road that they want to see changed in your beautiful state?
Well, obviously, the fraud gone, banning Sharia law, bringing our state flag back. I mean, I'm hearing all kinds of stuff. The teachers have big problems here with our school systems that went from number third in the nation down to like 30 some, and we spent 29% more money. I've talked to the farmers. They've got their own problems. Minnesota is so diverse. And then, of course, we have the biggest problems. It's in the cities here, the stuff going on. But I'm very encouraged that the protests now have died down because we got to get back to focus on the fraud, the big smoking gun in Minnesota that is up to 20 billion now, they say. $20 billion, everybody. And I have a great plan for that. With these welfare programs, I've been working on this stuff for 17 years with the inner cities. When I came out of addiction, working with the homeless and the people that need help, and so I have a great replacement program, or to subsidize private sector money to try to subsidize private sector money with these welfare programs, but they all got to be vetted. These programs need to be looked at because remember, David, it's not just the billions that were stolen, but some of these programs, people really needed that money. Where did the people that didn't get that money, not just the taxpayers that paid all this taxes and that have this money stolen, is what about the people that it would have benefited? I want to check into each program and say, is this a good return on the investment? And with what I had set up before using private sector money, my programs that we already tried about 7-8 years ago. I was working with all the your Teen Challenge Salvation Armies for the people in addiction, and all these other outlets where MyPillow myself gave millions of dollars. We were like the government wrapped around this, and we saved over 40%. So I think there's a lot of big savings that can be made with these welfare programs, not just taking out the fraud and putting that in. So I'm really encouraged by that. And we talk about Amy Klobuchar. When you talk about the race, by the way, everybody, a poll came out. I was just in Mar-a-Lago doing a fundraiser. One of the things is I'm able to, other than the other Republicans running, I'm able to raise money nationwide. Everybody knows how critical Minnesota is and the tip of the spear on a lot of these things. And having the name recognition, at least those attacks will be good for the name
Yeah.
recognition that I've been attacked for 5 years. Which brings up Amy Klobuchar. In 2018, Amy and I had a lot in common, David. We both said the machine's got to go. Amy was the most boisterous person for the Democrats, saying all these electronic voting machines need to go, that they control our country, and we're in lockstep on that, right? And but when Amy did the last 7 years since then, is she didn't go after the fraud. She didn't even go after the fraud that she got federal money for Minnesota for all these welfare programs, and she wasn't a very good steward of that money, everybody. And then you have myself. What did I do during that time to fight fraud? 40, $50 million, and put everything all in towards getting to where we're at. We're in really good places. Like you talk about Georgia, you guys are all seeing this evidence pouring out now. Mike was right. You got these memes all over the internet. Mike was right. Mike was right. Well, yeah, we had this stuff 5, 6 years ago, but this is just your first state you're seeing is Georgia. But what are they doing down there? They're fighting. Can you imagine they're bringing in lawyers and stuff to fight releasing this information to us, the American people, for an election that was 5 years ago? I mean, you can't even make this stuff up, everybody. It's disgusting. But anyway, so I really think I'm all in. Running for governor. It's MikeLindellGov.com, everybody. MikeLindellGov.com. We're right now. We are going after this win every day. This is where I'm putting in my efforts every day, 18 hours a day. We're going to be going. They know, David, they said stuff. Look, well, Mike, you carry baggage, with your conspiracy theory. No, that's gone. What I have is the receipts. I have the receipts. It's all coming out now. Mike was right. That's not baggage. Okay. And then if they're talking about being in addiction, back when I quit everything January 16, 2009, if that's the baggage they're talking about, well, that's not baggage. There was time we're going to show stuff. Do you know when I came out of that, the money that I put in millions of dollars into helping people in addiction, homeless. I mean, US Bank Stadium, MyPillow, we gave away, I don't know, it was over $1 million or $2 million worth of pillows. I was spoke at a Christian event and US Bank Stadium, things like this. But then the other part, they said, oh, Mike's too branded with Donald Trump. He won, everybody. It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing where I have access to the federal and state working together, and I can pick up and call my friend and say, hey, is there something? We have problems here in Minnesota. We'd like some. I think you'd be able to get. It's not baggage. It's actually a great thing. And so
Yeah.
it's MikeLindellGov.com. All I need is the help. And by the way, even if I did have money, I want to tell everybody, Minnesota, you're only limited. I believe it's only 30,000 you can put into your own campaign. It's not like federal elections, whatever. Some rich guy comes along that has money. Oh, I can just buy my own campaign. You can't do that here. And even if I had money, I couldn't do it. So, that's the only thing we need. I plan on, you drive through Minnesota, you're going to see Mike Lindell, Mike Lindell, Mike Lindell. And we have great marketing plan, but we need your help. MikeLindellGov.com.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I want to talk about, Mike. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you make this connection. Most entrepreneurs and business people are problem solution oriented. And that's one of the major assets I think Donald Trump has is he has
Yeah.
great communication skills, but he sees a problem, he finds a solution. And Mike Lindell is just like that, where Mike has stood up for America and the voting machines and fraud. And he's been, forgive the term, but crucified. I know people who are quote unquote conservative Christians, and they sucked up the CNN communist news network garbage, and they believe that Mike was wrong and a conspiracy theorist. Where,
Mhm.
like we just discussed, everything Mike said then, everything he's saying today has come out as true.
Yeah, there's
So,
only one truth. There's only one truth. There's
exactly.
not two sides to every story. There's only one truth.
Exactly. And absolutely, I believe that. So, with Mike having all these attacks and him still successfully problem solution leading My Pillow and having a American owned, employee owned company, he's going to be able to take those skills and that mindset and transition it into the property tax issues, into the welfare fraud, into the
Right.
huge issues that his state is facing. So, Mike, with everything going on, I mean, obviously, you've said a lot of the things you plan on doing, but when you come in, you don't know all the facts now. Nobody does until they have access to the data, right? Until you have
Right.
access to all the data, you can't make the decision. But you have a lot already in your pocket and your bag of tools that when you come in, where do you plan on starting in Minnesota?
Well, right now, I'm doing exactly what our president did for 4 years in between 45 and 47. He didn't sit there. He learned from when he was president for 4 years, and he said, "Hey, now I can prepare this for all these things that I want to get fixed." But I was attacked for 4 years, which he was during his first election. Now, for me, my pillow was attacked for 2 years, 3 years by Arctic Frost, Operation Arctic Frost, by our own government. I had to keep that going, and then plus building building the Cause of America, 300,000 people strong, building Lindell TV, all these things, doing it on a parallel track. It's a lot of multitasking and micromanaging. But that's what businessmen do. You have to be a good steward, a good CEO. So when you ask what's the first thing, I watch our great president when I'm at that Oval Office, and there's no multitasker I've ever seen. We're going to do everything we can. I'm learning now each thing. So let's just take our education here in Minnesota. I told you earlier, we went from third to like 30 some, and our property taxes keep going up. Well, here's why I found out. Our school systems are they're funded by bonds and then more bonds covering the bonds. And it's like a big Ponzi scheme. And then when they need more money, they raise property taxes. Well, so you got to solve that part of it. Okay. Then you have the curriculum that's coming in. That's got to be looked at. And then you also look at this. During this same time, I'm just giving you an example. Mississippi went from one of the worst in the nation to one of the best school systems testing in the nation. They've done something right down there. Well, what I'll be doing now, between now and when I'm elected, I will learn. You got to learn by the successes that are out there. And then you, as a businessman, you go, hey, I'm going to use this. It's like you don't have to come up. A lot of these things, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay. I already have plug-in things like the welfare, the fraud. You get these people, you've got to take, I'll give you another example there with the fraud, everybody. In Minnesota, we talk about these illegals that are here. It's $80,000 a year to have these in jail. The illegals that are in our jails and prisons or just our prisons in Minnesota. Now I believe, I could get the numbers a little wrong here, but I think there's almost 900 of them in there. I believe the total cost is to our taxpayers, it's like 110 million in Minnesota a year for these illegals. Well, you cooperate with the government, the federal government, and you say, hey, these guys we know have committed huge crimes, are in our prison. You take them and then you ship them back to their country to do their time there. We have agreements with these countries already where they'll take them back and they do their prison time there, and we don't want them back. And everybody should be agreeable on that. It's one of these things I've looked into. And so when you ask me, what am I doing first day? First day, there's a couple things first day. Bring back the Minnesota flag instead of the Somalian flag we have. Yeah, I really think Sharia law needs to be banned on day one. And then also the satanic statue that's sitting in our Capitol that Waltz put in there. It's in there stored somewhere, and he got an award for it. And he said, well, we have to be fair to the Satanists. No, we don't have to be fair to the devil. Bye-bye. And then you start, and on the first day, I'm going to have a great team of people, and they're going to be held accountable. That you go out, these leaders, I'm going to fire a lot of commissioners on the first day. I'm already investigating all these things. Yeah. And we have what we don't know. Will Keith Ellison, our Attorney General, will he still be here? Or will he be in prison? We don't know that. That remains to be seen. You have Ilhan Omar. You have the mayor of Minneapolis. They're all getting investigated. So we don't know that piece that's going to come there. But I know one thing: they'll all be looked at if they're still around because they didn't do their jobs. It all comes down from the top. And these commissioners this is disgusting. If they were CEOs, and like we said, take Amy Klobuchar, this is under her watch. She was the senator for decades now in Minnesota. You got federal money, and you were not a very good steward if you at least didn't find out where it's going. And if you heard rumors of fraud, you better tell the people. One of the things too, David, this is real important, everybody. What happens is you got all these Republicans that are running in Minnesota. One of them, this Lisa Damuth, she's Speaker of the House. Well, this stuff happened under her watch too. I don't care if you're a Republican. Where was your voice? Hey, we got problems, everybody. And you know what? Well, maybe the media wouldn't spread it here because we have horrible media everywhere. But you can, because of my voice, I would tell you what, the public will have a thing set up. I'll be the most transparent governor this country's ever seen. If we got blockers going on, people are blocking stuff from getting us to a good position to help the people are going to know about it. I don't care what party you're in. The people need to know about it. We have to put stuff in place that helps everybody. And, you talk about their president being the most transparent president. Well, all you got to do is copy that. I think him and we put it out there, and that's one thing we have a lot in common on. And I really think there's not only is no one else could win in Minnesota, and we can't have the same input, the same output. These Republicans, the established ones, oh, this is our big chance to win. No, you put in the same thing. You guys had your chance. Okay, you need a businessman in there. You need someone that's going to solve this. I love my state. MyPillow's still here. I could have moved out a long time ago because another thing Minnesota has, some of the worst regulations in the country. California does still top us, everybody. For instance, Bill Maher the other day was on TV and he said he's arguing with the Democrat, and Bill Maher goes, "What do you mean we have terrible regulations here in California?" He goes, "I went to get my garage door put on and I had to have 4 inspections already to get it, and months just to get your own garage door put on." I mean, this is unbelievable. Minnesota, the regulations here, and here's the thing: some are needed, some aren't, but you got to go through them so businesses can thrive. And then one of the things too, on day one, I will enforce our protester laws in Minneapolis. Minneapolis has some of the most stringent protest laws in the nation. You wouldn't believe that, would you, everybody? But nobody follows them. Our governor 8 years ago, that's 35W blocked off by Black Lives Matter, and all 8 lanes. You can't just go stand in a highway; it's not legal. And we have, but none of the laws here have been put in and I mean enforced. So you bring back law enforcement day one, so they can enforce our protester laws. Protesting's fine, but you got to do it. You got to keep it legal. You can't break the law. Stopping citizens right now in Minneapolis on their own streets, going, "Do you have an ID? Prove that you live here. Prove you're not ICE." I mean, give me a break. These guys have homes there. They've lived there their whole lives. It's disgusting what's going on.
Yeah, and that is so frustrating. They're saying don't ask for IDs to vote,
Yeah, yeah,
but you need an ID to come down my street. But
yeah.
I really want to circle. I want to circle back to something, if you don't mind me interjecting, because this has always bothered me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are what you'd classify yourself as a liberal or whether you're conservative, some people have the mindset that, well, these people, they're illegals, they made mistakes. Yeah, they're in prison, but they still have rights. Okay, human rights, that is true. But the statistic and the number that Mike just threw out was 80 to $85,000 we're paying, or Minnesota residents are paying per year to house people who clearly did at least one crime
In prison. These are
and
prison. These are
prison.
felons, people.
Yes.
Felons. These aren't even counting the jails, just so we all
Oh,
know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So these are felons.
They're the bad of the worst. These are the worst of the
Yes.
worst.
So what I always try to teach my kids and the people around me is this. Picture you live in a neighborhood and you have neighbors that you get along with and they help you. When you're sick, they bring you chicken noodle soup. When it snows, they shovel your driveway. You have people who are a community. Those are your neighbors. And then you have someone who breaks in your house and steals your belongings. Okay, well, we have limited time and resources. Let's say you have $10,000 in your bank account and you want to make a donation to help somebody. Do you help your neighbor who's now sick or who needs their yard shoveled? Or do you help the person who broke in your house?
Mhm.
So the disabled American veterans in America, the last statistic I heard, get $45 to $55,000 a year in assistance while criminals are getting 80 to 85,000. Do you
Right,
see why there's an issue? If you
right.
want to help people, do it with your money when there's an excess, but don't use the state's money and the federal money to house
That's
criminals
right.
when we
Eh,
have good people who contribute to society, especially the veterans.
Yeah.
Does that, I had to say that. I'm sorry,
No,
Mike, if
no,
I,
and you're spot on. And then everybody, I studied this, but in Donald Trump's election, in the 2024 election, just a year and a half ago, almost coming up on a year ago, whatever it was, the summer of 24, I went into the inner cities. I went into Chicago, and we interviewed blacks there, and most of them were black, some Hispanic, but they were voting for Donald Trump, and some of them didn't even like him. And we asked them, "What's your number one reason problem you have of why with the Democrat Party or whatever?" And every one of them had the number one thing was, you ready, everybody? The illegals were taking all their resources. They needed help for addiction. They needed help for healthcare. They needed these things. These are people that were in need that did not, they gave the illegals all the stuff. And that was their, these are our citizens that are here legally. Another thing that I want to bring up, I was just down in Florida and I visited an immigration center where they come legally, everybody. And these people that come there, it's amazing. They love our country. They know where they came from. They come in, and one of the first things they do is they learn English because they want to learn English, because they're coming here for a new life, the freedoms in our country. And then to have some illegal, oh yeah, it's just he just jumps across the border illegally and he's handed all this stuff and doesn't love our country, i.e., a lot of these Somalians that are up here. You have this. I use them for an example because they're not. They have said straight out they don't like our country. A lot of them, and they're taking the money and sending it back. So you have this fraud going on. They're giving. They're actually. I really think it's a blessing because they're giving illegals finally. Where everybody should get on board. They're a bad name. I mean, anyone that had any, oh, but they're still people, but all they did was they wanted to come into our country. No, it's a Trojan horse. They're coming in. This is like a takeover. When you talk about Sharia law and stuff, this is really, really bad. And we're talking, when you talk about ICE, we're talking in Minnesota. These are the ones the president said, the worst of the worst. They're already in our prisons and we're not giving them to them. We have politicians here in Minnesota that says, no, not only are we not going to give you any of these people, what you're here for, if they would just give it to them, you wouldn't have to have ICE doing all these things. Working with your local politician, please, of course, take these guys and get them out of here. They're here illegally. Then now you're not even counting the ones that are in jail. Anyone that jumped that border, ask one of these people that came illegally how they feel about that. But they've been waiting and they worked hard and they got here and start new lives with our freedoms. What's going to end up happening is if we don't solve that problem, you just think if you can stop that, and then you could get these people in faster that are waiting legally to come into our state, have done checked all the right boxes.
Yep.
You know,
And that's again, there's so many layers and it's very complex because of the years of just corruption.
yeah,
But it's not like you can sit a person down and say, "Hey, why do you want to come to America? Okay, you're a quote unquote good person. Welcome." There has to be checks because if you think about this, ladies and gentlemen, again, you have worked your whole life to save a pile of money. And then a financial advisor comes to you who's, let's just say, an addict and has no money. Are you going to listen to that financial advisor how to invest your hard earned money? No. So why are we listening to people who fled countries like Somalia, who
right.
is an absolute mess politically and economically? They come here hating America, robbing Americans, not everyone, but we're talking about the ones in Congress. They hate America. They hate what we stand for. They're jealous. And as far as I'm concerned, they're satanically led and trying to ruin our nation under
Oh,
God.
100%. That's
Yeah.
Sharia law. This is Minnesota, the tip of the spear. You go down to Texas, and I think they said there's over 100 mosques now. They're bringing up our Christian churches and putting mosques in place. And then we have, just downtown Minneapolis, we have our Somalian population. I went to an ATM and it's written in Somalian. Now, you guys, this is another thing. How many languages you're going to put on an ATM machine or street signs if you're not going to we're an English speaking nation. I mean, you could come here. If you come here, it should be a thing. Hey, you need to learn English so that you can drive and not just like in Minnesota. Our governor just handed people driver's license, said, have a ball. They can't even read the signs and then they can vote. And this in Minnesota, that's another thing. You can vouch for 8 people. Not only do I not need an ID and stuff, but I can vouch for every 8 people. This is why, everybody, if you're watching, I cannot stress the importance of that SAVE Act, Save America Act. That has to get through. And you're going, well, Mike, that doesn't say to get rid of the machine. This is a starting point, everybody. You at least got to have an ID and show you live in the country. Because remember, they're pulling just names off them voter rolls. All still done with computers. But if you take away that part, it's a big chunk. It's a big step in the right direction. Everybody agrees on that. Over 80% of the country, I think it's 88%, 79% Democrats of the people want voter ID and to prove you live in the country. I mean, you can't go by cough syrup. You got to show an ID. You got to show an ID for everything. You got to show an ID to get into these Democrat things that you show your ID at the door. I mean, this is crazy that the Democrats in power, that in Congress or in the Senate are going to, voting against this SAVE Act. There's nobody. It's the most nonsensical argument in history. But the good news is our president said this is going through one way or another. It has to. It has to, or we don't have a country. We do not have a country. That SAVE Act, everybody, is so important. If you can write your senators, if you know a senator, you say, hey, we got to have this. The people want it.
Amen. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're here today with Mike Lindell. He's running for governor of Minnesota in 2026. And Mike, I want to ask you a tough question. Whether the GOP and the rhinos out there support you, are you going to see this to the end despite how they back you? Or are you going to let the GOP influence your decision if you stay in the race?
I'm staying end to end. I'm going against Amy Klobuchar. These people that are there right now, they can run around and have their, I'm still going to the debates. I'm still going to every part of Minnesota. But if they don't endorse me, you know what? It don't matter. I go right now, I'm number one with the people. They did a poll a week and a half ago. I am number one with the people, and I'm for the people. And just like when I ran for RNC chair, everybody, and I remember that where 168 people of the GOP represent the whole country, and I got 4 votes, but they did a poll the night before, and I doubled the other 2 candidates combined. So once again, they said, well, Mike, you only got 4 votes. I said, well, once again, the politicians did not listen to the people. So I'm not going by, that same input has not worked in Minnesota. I'm going to the end. I'm going to win this with Amy, against Amy Klobuchar. I think they got it down. Amy Klobuchar is like 15, 16 points ahead of everybody, including me. Well, you guys, I haven't even, we're just getting started here, okay? I mean, I'm sorry, Amy. You can't just pop in as governor now when Waltz is probably going to prison. And you were here overseeing all this. You're the one that went and got federal money for the state of Minnesota, and it's gone. $18 billion or 20. They say it could go as high as 30 billion. Amy, that's not being a good steward of our money.
This isn't pro you or anti her, but the fact is that is inexcusable leadership. If you,
That's horrible leadership.
it's
Facts are
horrible.
facts. Yeah, it's really horrible leadership, and so I'm going to run a very positive campaign. People, here's what I can do as a businessman. This and this. I think what Amy's stuff will speak for itself out there. Sure, she's got name recognition because she's been here for so long, but this all happened under her watch. I don't care. This is federal money taken money, federal money that was wasted and stolen. And how is Amy going to what could she say? Well, I heard about it. I didn't. Then she says, well, I didn't know anything about it. Well, then you're not you should follow your money that you went and got. You're not a good steward of our money. I mean, that's what CEOs, if all of a sudden I see in sector 3, hey, wait, this money didn't end up with the people. Who did it help?
Yeah.
Who did it help? And as a businessman, I don't wait till third quarter and say, well, gee, we spent this much here and we didn't, and there's nothing here. There's money missing. No, I'll tell you, everybody, but CEOs don't do that. Every day, what I do is if my employees will call me from every section if there's a deviation or a block. That's how I do business. So these these new leaders we put in, like I say, a lot of these commissioners will go on day one. But it'll all happen. They just need help. MikeLindellGov.com, everybody. It'll be the best money ever spent. You guys know I never stop. I will not stop. I will keep going every day. You're going to know as the campaign goes along. Here's what we're doing. Here's what it's manifested to. Here's how the polls start to change. I will clean up these election platforms here in Minnesota. You can bet that. They will be as good as they can be under the circumstances we're in. I guarantee that. When they say Mike Lindell has the baggage, no, I have the receipts. I know where everything happened in Minnesota. Remember, we have all three of the voting machines here that do 95% of the country. So let's talk about that for a minute. That believe me, I know where the fraud is, I know where it's at, and we'll be getting to securing our election platforms too as much as can be in Minnesota.
Yeah, and there's so much going on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't look at this as just Minnesota. When Mike becomes governor and stops the corruption and the chaos and turns the state around, that's going to be a model for all these states that want to do it, but don't have the courage to move forward. So, this is going to be a giant catalyst in bringing back America. And I know watching your campaign and watching people come to my site, our remarkable listeners all over the world using the promo code remarkable for deals at MyPillow, saving 30 to 80% off plus free shipping. And Mike, from what you know, is remarkable still the best deal out there for people to get the best products, pillow sheets, mattress
Oh,
toppers, bath towels.
yeah, absolutely, you guys. And I'll talk about that. If any of you, we were having our second annual mega sale. And if you were on that about 2 weeks ago, you see we ran out of you guys, we ran out of the colors of the towels and the sheets. Well, as we speak, they all came in 2 days ago. We're fully stocked on these 6-piece towel sets, 34.95, lowest price in history. The Giza Dream Sheets, all the colors back in, all the sizes back in, stocked up right now as low as $29.98. And like you said, free shipping on your entire order. You have the only code, I believe, in the country now with that free shipping still in place, which tells me, everybody, take advantage of our mattress toppers and our mattresses. We put them on sale President's Day. Remember, they ship free right to your front door. This is a sleep game changer. I helped develop these. They're 100% made in the USA. They have 6-month money back guarantees. They're going to make you feel good or you get your money back. 10-year warranties, and what a concept to make stuff here. It's like you see the Supreme Court throw away the tariffs today, or some of them. And you guys, this was working. It's sad because it was working. I had a lot of people out there that I deal with that were going to maybe bring spinners and weavers back to the United States so we could make sheets here and stuff we can't do right now. And this was all in place. And now I'm just wondering if that's gonna stop them. And well, we'll keep making it overseas. So anyway, I'm just excited. You guys use promo code Remarkable. I will say this too. We're moving factories. This is big news, everybody. Right now, these last 2 weeks and a month going forward, we're moving into another factory, a brand new factory, and we have an overstock. We are discontinuing some items. You're hearing it here first. We had a whole a whole clothing line. We're talking pants, shirts, jackets, you name it. Go there right now and you get these overstock. You save up to 80%. Free shipping, promo code Remarkable. And David, if you don't mind, I'm going to give a number. My moms and dads and these people that work here hard in our call center, 800 644 6612, 800 644 6612. Make sure you tell them promo code Remarkable so you're going to get free shipping and the best deals in the country's history for MyPillow.
Yes. And I don't want to take any extra time for you, ladies and gentlemen, or Mike, but I want you to know if you listen to the podcast regularly, if you listen to shows with Mike and I, if you go to my website, there's video testimonials and reviews. I bought the queen size two-sided coil mattress. I have the mattress toppers, the multiple different kinds. I have the sheets, the pillows, the bath towels. I love them all, and I tell you about them in the reviews on the website, so you will love them too. And like Mike said, you get a money back guarantee. It's a win-win-win. You get amazing stuff and save 30, 80%. My Pillow is supported and they continue to bring you a best products on the market. And then America is supported because they're pouring their time and energy back into our country. Now, Mike, I want to ask you this question. You are one of the busiest humans I know. You're constantly on the go. You're not only managing My Pillow and all the attacks that you've been taking politically before running for governor, but now you're on the campaign trail. What is your go-to My Pillow product to take on the road?
Well, I have it here. Here it is. It's actually It's called Rev 7. This is Rev 7. This is an anti-tired. It's like, think of an energy drink with no high and no low. You don't crash. It's mental clarity beyond belief. I don't have them in here, but we have the bars just came in today. So we've got the best tasting health bar in history. This is breaking news. This is an hour ago, everybody. So get this. I bring these with. It's like an energy shot, only we call it the anti-tired drink. I can't be tired on the road. And it's got BHB ketones. This is a patented thing your body needs. So you're replacing all the bad stuff that's normally in an energy drink. No sugar, no caffeine. And it's replaced with these ketones, and they're the best tasting you'll ever taste. The bars are the best ever you have for a health bar. So if you don't have time to eat on the road, this gives you what you need, plus cognitive mental clarity. And all the studies they've done, these medical studies, everything, you guys got to check it out. This is my number one product. I'm glad you brought it up. So go to use promo code Remarkable. If you go, by the way, if you buy anything today on MyPillow, you will get 3 cans you can get sent out to you for a trial subscription. You could cancel right away if you just want to do the trial thing. But there you ask what you bring on the road. I don't go anywhere without it, no.
And did I understand you right? You have the energy drink, you have the energy shots, and now
Go grab
if
the
they go
bars
to your
quick, man.
website, there's health
Hurry, my
bars
milk.
available too.
Yeah, the bars. He's going to go grab a case right now. We've been up by employees. We've been eating them all morning.
Now, are those available yet, or are those coming
They're
soon?
available right now. You should be able to go if you refresh the site. I'll make sure they're on the Remarkable page. You
Awesome.
guys,
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that here first. I had no idea there was health bars. I'm super
yeah,
excited. And then another thing, while Mike's coordinating that, if you're watching the podcast, I have my Pillow travel pillow right here with me. This is my absolute favorite. I just went on a 3-week road trip to New
right,
England. I took this exact pillow with me and I had one of the MyPillow blankets. It was
right.
in the low 30s. The high point was in the mid 40s the entire trip. And when I went camping, I used just my MyPillow blanket, not even my sleeping bag. I was warm, but this pillow, whether I was in the car or the truck, whether I was in hotels, whether I was in with family and friends, this beautiful MyPillow mini came with me. And with promo code Remarkable, you get the pillow and the case for like $17 plus free shipping. So check it out 100%.
Here we go, everybody. Yeah, and that's my other product. So you got the My Pillow, the travel pillow for night, for getting that best sleep. And then here they are, everybody. The Rev 7 bars. These here, they just came in, and I'll tell you, they are the best. There's nothing, the best tasting bar I've ever had, health bar. Unbelievable. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to trying them now myself.
they
So
are really good.
let me
That's
ask
the,
you a question.
that's the strawberry. You got caramel, but it's clean ketone energy bar. They're awesome.
Awesome. And let me ask you this, because I really have. It's hard to believe. When I first heard about my pillow, I thought it was only pillows. And I have my pillow in every aspect of my life, it seems now. It seems like every product you guys make are just first, best in class. What is it about you and your company that keeps not just
I
getting home
do.
runs, but grand slams, whether you're making a pillow, a mattress, or a now health energy bar?
What I do is I reverse engineer. It's a problem solution. You take any product, like I'll take our mattress topper. Well, let's go all the way back to the pillow. Whatever product it is, I go with the pillow. And I said, well, I wanted a pillow back in the day. I wanted one that could adjust so for my shoulders and it wouldn't go flat. I wouldn't use my arm, fold it over, wake up in the morning with a sore neck or a headache. So you take away, I wanted something you could adjust. So I did that. This took a year to develop my pillow back in 2004. I wanted it, you could wash and dry it. That took another 2 months to develop that technology. I wanted it to last. So it's got a 10-year warranty. I wanted it to stay cool. So I reverse engineered the problems with the pillows that were out there back then, reverse engineer, and I didn't worry about price developing it. You develop it first, then you look at what do you have to sell it for to make you do the business decisions then. So like we take these this Rev 7. Let's just take that. These guys came to me and, I take energy drinks before. Let's just use that. I'm going, okay, can you improve on an energy drink? What I didn't like, a lot of people don't like the sugar content, the caffeine, the peaks. You go way up and come down and crash and maybe have another one. And, and then I go, why couldn't they replace the energy drink with good things? And they had these ketones, PHB ketones, this patented stuff in there. So you put this in there. But any product, if you're an inventor out there, reverse engineer the problems of the current product, what you don't like, what you hear from people, do your due diligence, and then solve that problem. Then, the only reason, like people say, well, Mike, your products are so bad, but yet you have the lowest prices we've ever seen. How can that be? Well, remember, everybody, I was canceled by all the box stores. We don't have any middlemen anymore. Remember, the box stores take 50 some points. So if you have a product that's $20, they're going to charge 40. So we're direct now to you guys. So that's another part, but that's what it is. I look at every product. If I don't believe in the product, I wouldn't carry it. Do you know how many products that I have not had my hand in a MyPillow in the development of it or improving on it? Every one of them, every single one of them. I would never put some up on MyPillow that I didn't approve, that didn't, that wasn't to benefit you or give you a good price. Even like towels, I had a problem with our towels. Or with towels. When towels came out, when I was growing up, towels, they dried you. And all of a sudden I'm going, these towels that was buying in stores, they feel all slippery and the soft. You get them home and they didn't dry you. Well, I found out that the government, they made these deals in 2006 where you could import towels and no tariffs or nothing. And it got so competitive, they started adding stuff like fabric softeners and oils. So they felt good in the stores, but you couldn't dry yourself with them. My commercial I said, you could line a swimming pool with this. So what we did with their towels, it took 6 months. It took about 6 months. We found a place with technology where they're not only soft, but they actually dried you. So there was a lot of technology that went into our towels. By the way, it's our best deal right now, everybody. $34.95, promo code remarkable. So
And
6-piece towel set.
ladies and gentlemen, our listeners around the world, our friends in America, our citizens in Minnesota, I hope you're making the connection. That same passion that you just saw or listened to in the last 5 minutes about Mike doing the reverse engineering, problem solving, getting the right people, bringing the right information, trusting but verifying. All that is who Mike Lindell is. And that's not just what makes him a great entrepreneur, built a massive company that gives us amazing products at low prices, but he's going to bring that passion and quality and genius to the state of Minnesota when he becomes governor. So, Mike, thank you for being here today.
Well, thanks for having me on, everybody. And thanks for having me on, David. You're awesome. Your audience is awesome. And I want to tell everybody, if it wouldn't be for all of you supporting MyPillow as they were attacked, my employee-owned company, there is no way I could have put 100% into running for governor and leaving my employees without you guys out there that have continued to support us and to keep them going forward. And I feel it where I can have a comfort that we're still standing in spite of all the attacks. Here's what I use as my governor. We're still standing. MyPillow's still standing. I'm still standing. And now I'm going to stand for you as the next governor of Minnesota. MikeLindellGov.com. How's that for a little commercial?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I want to share this, and I'm going to have you said it during the interview, but let's close with this too, not for selfish gain, but for people. I have a friend who just bought a new home. He knows I love MyPillow. He's actually bought some MyPillow products in the past, but he went to the website and he was like overwhelmed with what to buy. So then he came over my house. We had dinner and then we went through and ordered him everything he needed. And he's super happy and he saved a ton of money with promo code Remarkable. But if you're talking directly to somebody right now who during this interview, they've been shopping, they got their cart full of gifts and everything they need for their home, and they have a bunch of MyPillow, why should they use promo code Remarkable than anything else they'll get on a coupon site out there?
You're getting free shipping on your entire order. That's just one reason. And you're part of it's called we're moving factories. We're closing out our clothing line and these different ones. So you're getting 80% off on most of those products. We have to make room in our factory to move everything over. These are a lot of these products were earmarked for box stores, and they've been sitting in storage here. Do all your shopping there right now. We have I believe it's over 300 products. Made in America socks, stuff you wouldn't even think of. Go there, shop. Remember the slippers? We're closing them out for good. We can't get the slippers anymore. And you guys love the slippers.
That's a heartbreak.
$39.98 and free shipping. Remarkable. That code remarkable. And this is the only phone number you're going to get these deals. 800-644-6612. Promo code remarkable. Get the big ticket items. Fill up your cart. Beds. We have bed frames. We have everything. Everything for your bedroom too. Where free shipping. Free shipping is high right now. Right to your front door. And the best prices ever. But for promo code remarkable.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Remarkable People podcast with this special edition with Mike Lindell running in 2026 to win the governor's race. And like our slogan says, listen, do, repeat for life. Don't just listen to this great information, but do what you know you need to do. Repeat those great habits each day so you can have a great life in this world, but most importantly, in eternity to come. And while we're here, let's love everybody like God says. Let's love our neighbor like let's love God, let's love our neighbor, and let's make sure we're putting a line in the sand and not letting people take what God's given us in the gift of America. So I'm David Pasqualone. This is Mike Lindell. And Mike, thank you again for being here, my friend.
Thanks for having me on. God bless you all.
The Remarkable People podcast. Check it out. The Remarkable People podcast. Listen, do, repeat for life. The Remarkable People podcast.